Welcome back, everybody, to Bandwagon Sports. Today, I'm going to be doing the third part in the Heroes of Hockey playlist, and it's been a few months since I recorded this, and I wanted to really come back with a big bang. A very important player to the NHL's history, and that player that I'm going to be doing today and going over his career and kind of my thoughts about him is Howie Morenz. And Howie Morenz could be widely regarded as the first NHL superstar. He played over 500 NHL games, which is a pretty good amount for back when he did play in the 20s and 30s. And unfortunately, he was really taken away too soon from the hockey world and from his family and from everyone around him. And I'm going to be going over that a bit later. But let's start with the beginnings and let's get into that. So Howie Morenz was born September 21st in 1902, so very old. Today he would have been 119 years old, I believe, so not going to say that he wouldn't be alive, but I doubt he would be alive today to watch this video. He played center. He was 5'9", 165 pounds, so pretty small for back then, for the NHL back then. I mean, you really think of the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, big guys, really bigger bodied players. He was born in Mitchell, Ontario. Ontario is where I live, and he shoots left. So, just right there, all his basics out of the way. In his career, Howie Morenz played 550 NHL games, which again is very excellent for back then, where the seasons were 40 games long, 20 games long, 30 games long. There really wasn't a set amount of games that was in one NHL season, and I found that doing a personal project just this past year, and I was going over all the point leaders in each year, and I found that every year the games played for players was different. It's just really interesting to me. But anyways, in those 550 games played, Howie Morenz put up 271 goals, 205 assists for 476 points, and excellent scoring. Again, this is back when you really didn't get guys putting up excellent seasons for more than maybe 1 or 2 years. And Howie Morenz had a stretch of about 4, 5, 6 seasons where he was pretty dominant in the NHL, putting up more than a point per game or just hovering right around it. And yeah, really excellent player. He was great up until the end in 1936-37, which was his last year played, where in 30 games he had 20 points. And for a guy who's in his mid-30s, that's pretty excellent. So great career stats there for Howie Morenz. I'm going to go over his first season, his rookie season, which was in 1923-24, at the ripe age of 21 years old. He played 24 games for the Montreal Canadiens and had 13 goals, 3 assists for 16 points, and had 32 penalty minutes. Plus minus wasn't tracked back then, so those are the statistics that you're left with. Pretty good rookie season, of course. I mean, anywhere close to half a point per game for a rookie, I think, is excellent. His best season, though, came in 1929-30 when he was a ripe age of 28 years old, 27 years old. So, pretty good year here. In 44 games played, he had 40 goals. I mean, just in today's NHL, those standards are absolutely crazy. But on top of that, he had 13 assists for 53 points, and he had 72 penalty minutes. So, that's his best year, and all throughout his career, like his second season, he had 27 goals, 23, 25, 33, 17 the year before his 40-goal season, 28, 24. I mean, this guy was scoring on all sorts of levels, and it really does show in the statistics just how dominant of a scorer Howie Morenz really was. And even if he didn't get a point per game, I mean, just the pure goal-scoring numbers are insane. And you really have to think of this. Players back then, goals were a lot more common than assists, and if Howie Morenz had, let's say, a 50-50 split, 40 goals, 40 assists, that is a much more insane season than it shows here. I mean, you could add a 50-50 split to all of these years, and he would immediately be a much better looking player than he is right now. But, really, back in the day when they played at this kind of hockey, I mean, goal scoring was a big part of it. Assists weren't really a thing, and therefore player statistics back in the 1917 to maybe 1950, the numbers were kind of affected by that. So let's go on to the really only player who I think could rival Howie Morenz, and he wasn't even in the NHL for a long time. He only played right around 6 seasons in the NHL, and that was a guy named Joe Malone. And Joe Malone was, in my personal opinion, a player who had a lot of potential to really become the first superstar in the league, and he was a big player for a few years. He was probably the first big superstar in the NHL for a couple seasons. His first season in 1917-18, which was the inaugural season of the NHL, Joe Malone put up 44 goals in 20 games played, 48 points, and only 4 assists. So you really do see how much assists were not utilized back then. And Joe Malone is really, again, the only player who I think could rival Howie Morenz for the first superstar of the NHL. But the real thing with Howie Morenz, why I name him the first superstar, is Joe Malone only had 4 seasons where he was really impressive. His second season, he only played 8 games, 24 games, 20 games, and 24 games. His next 3 seasons, 39 goals, 28 goals, and 24 goals. And it was really just a steep decline after that. I mean, 49 points. His third season after his 8-game season, 37 in 20 games the next year, and 31 in 24. But then he had a huge drop off. 20 games played, only 1 goal, and then the next year 10 games played, only 1 assist, and that was it for Joe Malone. So really not enough consistency, really not enough years to be considered a big time superstar in the NHL. And Howie Morenz, he did it for 10 plus seasons. So I really do believe that Joe Malone would be the only rival to Howie Morenz, but unfortunately, in my opinion, didn't play long enough and didn't play long enough and successfully enough to be considered. I mean, maybe if he had a good seasons every single one of these years, there you go. But his last 2 years were just not there. So now I'm going to get into the tragic end of Howie Morenz. So Howie Morenz suffered a broken leg at the end of the season in 1937 and was in hospital for weeks. He had a blood clot, and unfortunately he had a heart attack and died from his injury on ice, and it really was unfortunate. Bad passing for the NHL's first real superstar, and I believe Howie Morenz had another 3, 4, 5 good seasons in him at the NHL level, and I really do think that he could have made a bigger impact than he did. I mean, he still played excellent hockey for 15 years, and it really is a excellent career he had, but just really a fatal blow right there to the hockey community that a guy so great like this was lost that early, and it really was unfortunate. So this is a video on Howie Morenz. Just kind of quick overview on his statistics, what happened to him, and what my opinion of him is. And my opinion is he was the first real NHL superstar before Rocket Richard, before Gordie Howe. It was Howie Morenz, and he was an excellent player who was taken away too early from us, just like Matisse Kivlenieks. I cannot say that name, I'm sorry, but there's really just been a lot of tragic incidents with hockey players, and it is really unfortunate. So Howie Morenz unfortunately passed away too early, and everyone else who had accidents like this, they pass away too early. And I honestly think everyone passes away too early, but I'm not gonna try to end this video on a low note. These players, they play their hearts out, and they accomplish their dreams when they make the NHL level. So if there's one thing to look forward to and take out of this video that's positive, it's that these guys, their dreams came true. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider liking the video and subscribing. And I'm really excited to do the next one, the first Heroes of Hockey. I do know who I am going to do, and I do think it's going to be a pretty good video. So again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. But for now, bye.